Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna give you my thoughts and my prediction about this year's first Masters event. It's the Indian Wells Masters, aka the fifth slam. They call it the fifth slam, some people, because it's a very big field. You have to play 6 or 7 matches if you're a qualifier to lift the trophy. And first, some breaking news. I think you already have heard that Novak Djokovic is not playing. He has been withdrawn from this tournament due to these COVID rules that are still in USA, that they are still saying that you have to be vaccinated to play, and Novak is not, as you all know. So Novak won't play in Indian Wells and in Miami. And guys and girls around the world, this makes my prediction more difficult because if Novak would have played, it would have made my job a little bit easier. To be honest, much easier, to be honest, because Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, those two players are bankable players. And how will this drama and this withdrawn affect Novak Djokovic? Because he has to continue to play somehow to be fit for the Grand Slams, and it's not even sure that the French Open will allow them either. But we will see. That's another topic, and that's another story. So I'm gonna dig into this draw now. I've checked it briefly today because I woke up very early, and it's Central Europe time for me. So the draw has been, they have changed the draw a little bit. On Novak's spot, it's now Grigor Dimitrov, who is the last man on the bottom half of the draw. So this draw, it's very difficult for me to predict at least the bottom half of the draw, but I'm gonna go into it now. So I have some names that I think that will get very deep in this tournament. The first 32 seeds gets a bye in the first round, so they are entering the tournament in the second round. And this is actually my first preview of the Indian Wells tournament. I haven't never done it before, but it's a big tournament. Novak has won it 5 times. Roger Federer has won it 5 times. Roger Federer had played 9 finals totally. And in this field, it's only Rafael Nadal who has won this tournament 3 times, and the defending champion Cameron Norrie that has won this tournament before. So either it will be a new winner here, but we will see, or it will be the same guys that I repeated, Norrie or Nadal. We will see. But how did I think before this draw, when I saw the draw? I said to myself, this Indian Wells is the slowest of these Masters hardcourt tournaments. It's very slow, so it's used guys who has big swings, big cuts. They get the necessary time to fulfill their strokes, and it's warm here. The weather is not helping the players either, but it's a great court, it's a great event, it's a great venue, and people likes to come here. It's the first part of the Sunshine Double. The other one is in Miami Open, and I have great expectation for some of the players, but we will see how they're gonna handle the pressure, because handle the pressure has always not been the case for players who is not named Rafael Nadal. And if you take other players in this field, I can just name Medvedev, Zverev, Tsitsipas. They are consistent players. And in some extent Rublev, but mostly in 3 sets tournaments. So who do I think? First I was thinking I'm gonna do a top 8 list, but when Novak Djokovic withdraw, I was very confused of who I'm gonna put in the quarterfinal in that section that Novak was supposed to play. So I'm just gonna give my top 6 players that I think that will advance and be the most player that will most be likely to win this tournament. All right, on my number 6 list, I have who I'm gonna pick. No, I'm gonna do a top 8 list. I'm just gonna go for it. All right. So that means we're gonna enter the quarterfinals directly. And the first player I'm gonna talk about is Yannick Sinner, the Italian dude, the hard-hitting Italian dude, who I think he didn't play superbly well at Australian Open, but he has this firepower from both wings. He doesn't move that great to be a tall player, because in previous videos I said that this guy moves great for his height, but he's a light version of Thomas Berdych. He's still young. He still can develop his game to be more consistent, because that's his main flaw. His consistency level. He can disappear. He can dip. He can come out of his comfort zone, and you can really just nail the ball to his forehand and backhand corners and get rewarded with a lot of unforced errors for this Italian dude. But when he's playing great tennis like he's supposed to do, very few can match him from the baseline, because he's a hard hitter, like I said, similar to Berdych playing style, and he has a decent draw. I think in the first couple of matches, he gets in by, of course, in the first round, and in the second round, I think he will gonna play the Korean guy Kwon, and in the round 4, he will take on I think Sonego, and his first big test, if this guy can take him and his racket to the 4th round, I think that's gonna be Nick Kyrgios. But with him, you never know. He's either hot or cold. So either way, I think that Sinner will do his job and advance to the quarterfinals, where he's gonna meet a guy that I'm gonna talk about later, of course. And this is the top half of the draw that I'm talking of. Sinner plays in the top half of the draw, if I'm not mistaken. And on my number 7, I have who do I have there? This one is difficult. It's either one of those guys who was gonna play in Novak Djokovic section. I think it's either Diego Schwartzman, Bublik, or Andy Murray. But if I have to choose the name, I will say Diego Schwartzman. And I haven't looked at his draw, but his biggest obstacle, I think, it's either Bublik or Andy Murray on his way to the quarterfinal. So he will be on my number 7th spot here. It's a long shot. Diego Schwartzman is a great baseliner, and this slow surface can actually give him some advantage, because I think he reached the quarterfinals of the 4th round last year. So Diego has the opportunity now. He doesn't have that big serve, but he's serving safely, and he is hitting those spots. So his serve is not that terrible. It's just that he doesn't produce many aces. And then we all know that he's a solid counter puncher. He hits the ball very clean, and he can dictate the game from the baseline. And so I believe that Diego Schwartzman, if his status is 100%, he can reach to the quarterfinals. He has to face some big hitters on his way, big servers, but I think that he can manage through. And Grigor Dimitrov, that is in his same section, I think that he will crash out in the further or the second round. I'm not trusting his level anymore. All right. On my number 6 spot, this one is a little bit tricky. I had to choose between 2 guys, and who are these guys? I think that is one of those guys is I will go with Felix Aliassime. Why do I think that? Because he has the game actually to reach the final. If you look at this draw, he has this Dutch guy, Van de Zandsloop, and then he has to face Cilic in the 4th round. He gets in by in the 2nd round. And in the 4th round, he has to face Berrettini, a guy that I think it's time for him to beat him, if he hasn't done that before. I didn't check the head-to-head stat, but I think that he will beat Berrettini. And Felix Auger Aliassime is one of those guys that has improved his game most the last year, 2021. He reached deep in Wimbledon. He reached semifinals at US Open. I think he reached the quarters at Australian Open, if I'm not mistaken. He was there. He went deep in that tournament also. So Felix Alessime with his huge serve, with his huge forehand, with his huge backhand, with the shot tolerance that he possesses, he lost to Medvedev, I think, in the Australian Open. I think that was in the semifinal, if I'm not mistaken. So either way, Felix has done a tremendous job this year, and I'm really impressed with his playing style lately. So I think that he will be a terrible surprise for everybody that's gonna face him in this tournament. But I think that his journey will end in the quarterfinal. And who will we meet there? I don't know, but I'm really confused who to pick here. So I had Sinner at my 8th spot, and I had Diego Schwartzman on my number 7 spot, and now I picked Aliassime. I think that he can reach much deeper than this, but I have to pick a name here. I can sit here all day and predict and predict and predict. So on my number fifth spot, who do I have there? This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a long shot, but not a long shot in particular, because this guy has really improved this game. I think it's time for him to take this step. I'm gonna stick my head out and say Alcaraz, and that means that he's gonna defeat Medvedev in the 4th round. I think that in the 1st round he will take on Fuskovic. In the 2nd round in the 3rd round he will take on RBA, and in the 4th round it's gonna be the first big clash of this tournament, the one that I really looking forward to, and that's the battle between Alcaraz and Medvedev. I've not been super impressed with Medvedev in Acapulco, but he lost to a red-hot player in Nadal, who really took him by the bed and just bashed him off. But Alcaraz, this hard-hitting Spaniard youngster, the way he crushes the ball, the way he hit the ball, the way he moves, he's an upcoming superstar. But how many Grand Slam will he collect? That's another story. But I believe in Alcaraz. I think it's time for him. I think this hardcourt really suits him. It's not that super lightning fast, and he will have time to swing because he's a great mover, but he needs those huge swing to fulfill his game to the fullest. And I think that he will get through Medvedev. It's going to be a tight battle. It's going to be a grind party, but I believe that he will be the stronger dude in the end. But Medvedev, on the other hand, we know he's number 1 for a reason. He has been one of the most consistent players the last 3 months, together with Rafael Nadal. And he's really the favorite in this matchup. But I have a feeling that Alcaraz will defeat him. So this is also my first upset alert. If he takes his A game to the court, Alcaraz, and Medvedev doesn't perform to 100%, I think he has a decent chance. But this match can go either way. I will not be surprised if Medvedev wins. Of course, he's the number 1 in the world. So Medvedev, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he's gonna win. It's not that because he's a less better player. He's much better player than Alcaraz. He's much more consistent. But I think that Alcaraz will hit through on his forehand side. And I think that Indian Wells, it's a tournament that Medvedev haven't reached that deep before. He reached the 4th round last year where he lost to Dimitrov. So I think that Medvedev is gonna get this reaction that he always gets when he plays a Grand Slam. We saw in Acapulco he couldn't do nothing against Nadal. I will not name that as an example, but I think that Alcaraz will take him out, and that's my prediction. All right. So that was my number 5 spot, if I'm not mistaken. So now we're into the four guys that are left. Who will those guys be? This is gonna be a tough battle to predict also. So I have named Felix on this list. I have named Schwartzman. I have named Sinner. I have named Alcaraz. That means there are four guys left. Who are those guys? On my fourth spot, I will have to pick Rublev, I think. I will choose Rublev. It will have to be Rublev. All right, Andrei Rublev it is. He plays against Benoit Paire in the second round. He gets him by, and then he has to face another French dude, I think, Manarino, and then Hurkacz, who has played great on hard court lately. But will he take out Rublev? I don't know. I think that Rublev is the better player. Rublev has improved this year. He has won a tournament, and I think that he's gonna come into this tournament with great confidence because he has this superbly great forehand. He has an okay serve. He has a decent backhand. His returns are not the greatest in the ATP circus, but due to this slow surface, I don't think that he was gonna get too much of a big speedy serves against him. So I think that Rublev will do his job because look at his draw. He has a great draw. So Rublev with his all-court game, with his consistent baseline game at 3-set tournaments, he's a great shot maker actually, and he has great defensive. He has great firepower, and he can handle pressure at least in this tournaments not called Grand Slams. But how will he control the baseline against the hard hitters he's gonna meet in the semifinal? I don't know, but I think that the guy is up 5-0 against him, and he really has his number, and that's Sasha Zverev, who I've picked as my. No, sorry. I spoiled it. I'm gonna pick Tsitsipas as my number 3 spot. On my number 3rd spot, it will be Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas will take on Jack Sock, I think, in the second round, and then either Kachanov or Brooksby. And in the 4th round, one of the finalists from last year, it's either Cameron Norrie or Bashiavili. Bashiavili defeated the Greek here in the quarterfinal last year, so the Greek hasn't looked super sharp, to be honest, lately. He has changed his strings, has changed some adjustment in his game, but he has still hold a high level, in my opinion, and that's why I think he will reach the semifinal due to his draw. But his first big test, I think it's either Cameron Norrie or maybe Bashavili, if he can take him to that 4th round. Maybe Khachanov, maybe Brooks, but you never know. Tsitsipas is a guy that can lose to anybody nowadays due to his inconsistency level. But I think that in Masters, I think that he's a pretty solid name. He's in safe court sometimes. I think that this hard court is gonna suit him like the hand in the glove. But will he reach deep? He needs to protect his serve. He needs to serve great. He needs to keep a great depth from his backhand and not allow his opponent with short balls so they can step into the court and dictate the game. But the young Greek, he has improved his game also the last couple of years. So he's one of those top 6 guys in the world. So I think that he will reach the semifinals as my number 3rd spot. All right, who do I have as a runner-up? And that's Alexander Sasha Zverev. I think that even though he has an okay draw, it's not super difficult. He's gonna face the American dude Paul in the second round, I believe. Maybe Alex de Minaur in the third round. That's gonna be a tough test for him. He's gonna sweat a little bit. He's gonna show he has to show his great tennis skill, because de Minaur will not give him anything for free. He's a great counterpuncher. He's a great defender, and he doesn't surrender that easy. So, but if Sasha bring his firepower game with his heavy ground strokes, he will wipe off de Minaur from the court. And in the third round, he's either gonna meet the guy that beat him last year, and that's Taylor Fritz, who reached the semifinal last year, or who was the other guy? I think it can be PCB if he plays great. I don't trust his level either anymore. And Sasha just came from that tournament in Acapulco where they throw him out because of his anger issues. You all saw what he did to the referee. He hit the racket on his chair, and Alexander was not in physical and mental balance in that tournament. Perhaps he has learned his lesson and recouped, and perhaps he has taken his energy to this tournament in a positive way. But you never know with him. He's in a heated head guy. So, but anyway, I believe that Sasha Zverev is full of revenge now. He's gonna go into this tournament as one of the favorites, one of those guys that can really win this tournament. He has won a couple of tournaments in his career before. So I believe that Sasha Zverev is here to win his first tournament. But first of all, he has to reach the final. And who will we take on in the final? Of course, it's Rafael Nadal. It was my pick before the draw, to be honest, even if Novak was gonna participate. And this made the job a little bit easier, of course, but still he has to play all of these matches in the tournament to win. And we all know Rafael Nadal is that guy that always does his job. He is the most consistent player on the ATP Tour, maybe the most consistent player of all time. He's a bankable player. He has the highest low level. He's the guy on tour that never beats himself. He's the guy that beats himself less. Rafael Nadal, what can we say about this Spanish giant? 3 tournaments he has played this year. 3 victories. I think his winning streak is up to 17 matches now, if I'm not mistaken, 16 or 17 matches. He will continue his run here with a couple of more matches. And Rafael Nadal, I can really see anybody beat this guy in this tournament. And I'm going to go into his draw now. In the first match he's going to play in the second round, he will either face Kokkinakis or Sebastian Korda. Those guys doesn't have the weapon. They don't possess the weapons that can actually hurt or damage Rafael. Maybe Kokkinakis, if he has those once-in-a-lifetime performances on court, if he can protect his serve, if he serve flawless and win many points in his serve, and take his heat into Nadal's serve once or twice, and either take this to a tiebreaker, he has a chance. But I see that as a very, very long shot. All right, in the third round, I think that he will take on Dan the Man Evans, the Slice King, and he will slice his way through to the third round, but journey will end there where Nadal is gonna take him out in fashion. His baseline game is not too powerful to hurt Rafael Nadal. He can mix up the game, but you need power to hit through Nadal, and Evan unfortunately doesn't have that. He's gonna eat up that backhand for breakfast, Rafael Nadal. All right, and then in the fourth round, I believe this is gonna be his biggest test so far. Either it's gonna be a rerun from the Australian Open where he's gonna meet Shapovalov, or he's gonna meet Riley Opelka, who hasn't looked in 100% physical shape lately. I think that if Shapovalov takes him out, I think that Shapovalov will give Nadal a real hard run for it, a real run for his money. Because Shapovalov was very close in the fifth set in Australian Open. He took him to 5 sets. Nadal wasn't playing 100% well in that fifth set, but some way Shapovalov, like he always does, I have called him Santavalov for nothing. He basically threw away that match because he really had Rafael Nadal on the ropes. This is a 3 sets tournament. He doesn't have to consume as much as energy as before. If he has a good day on court, of course, he can take out Rafael Nadal. He has done that before in Masters. So will this be the second time? I don't know. Rafael Nadal is just looking like a youngster again in my eyes. And Shapovalov, if he really has a chance, he will have to play flawless tennis, return great, and he has to be rock solid from his backhand side. We all know that his serve is great, his forehand is great. That is not an issue, but it's the rest of the thing. And of course, take care of your breakpoint opportunities and take your chances, basically, because he's a hit and run player, this Shapovalov. I have said that he has a huge game. He's one of those guys that has this unique firepower that you need today. He has the offensive skills, but he doesn't know how to construct the points. And sometimes he play with bad short decisions. You never know what to expect from Shapovalov. All right. So Rafael Nadal, I think that he will take, and my quarterfinals will be Felix against Zverev. Zverev is up 4-2 in that head-to-head, so I believe that he will wins that match. I think that Rublev will beat Schwartzman in the other quarterfinals. And then Nadal will take out Sinner. He has defeated him in all of those 3 meetings that they have played against each other. And I think that Tsitsipas will beat Alcaraz. Alcaraz beat him at US Open, but I think that Alcaraz will... this is also a 50-50 matchup. I'm all not surprised if Alcaraz take out Tsitsipas. But I believe that it's Tsitsipas' turn this time. And that's why I think that Tsitsipas will reach the semifinals against Nadal. They have played 9 times. And how many of those battles has Nadal won? 7! And the Greek only twice. And in the other semifinal, it's going to be Rublev due to his pretty comfortable draw against Alexander Zverev, who had never lost to Rublev in 5 meetings. I think that that's going to be a great battle for between this ex-Russian, half-Russian, half-German guy, Zverev, and the Russian. I think that they don't play on the Russian flag in this tournament. But either way, Rublev will lose against Zverev again, and Nadal will win against Tsitsipas in the semifinal, and Nadal will lift the trophy and win his 4th title here, because I can't see anybody take out Rafa in this form. He looks so good from all of part of his game. His serve, his returns, his baseline game, his forehand, his backhand, his movement, everything, the whole package, the whole 9 yards. Rafael Nadal is just too good in shape to not win this tournament. That's my pick for the winner in this tournament. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye-bye.